The question that we've been asked is because of COVID-19, I'm not able to meet my client face to face. Can uLaw help me with a completely true contactless client intake process? The answer is absolutely yes. We've developed a brand new feature under document generation. You have so many forms here. There's a generic form, there's a family form. I like the family form because it's a lot more encompassing than the generic form, but it's you can send either one, whatever you like, and we're going to develop more such for POA and landlord and tenant and other stuff, so we're working on it. But right now we have these two areas. Let's look at the family one. I'm going to download it. Okay, and now what you see is it generates a PDF. You very safely send this form to your client. You just tell them, hey, I have a client intake form and we have instructions here on how to fill them, like what do you go through, and they start basically filling. Now the beauty is you can even tell them there's a validate button that they can just press, and they'll tell them all the mandatory fields that they have to press. Okay, like they have to choose their this one, let's say their miss, and I'm going to use an example here, Karen, Martha Font. Okay, I have another video where I did a general one, but here it's Karen Martha Font. Okay, and let's say her residential address, that's her mailing address. She's in 55 Queen Street, which is in Toronto, Ontario. Let's say it is M3E4R5. They can also give their work address. Let's say it is 89. Let's say they work, in Jane Street, which is in Richmond, Ontario. And let's say that is M5D61. And you can say which one is mailing. Like you can say the residential address is mailing. They can tell you how they found you. They can say it's they found you on some form of advertising, maybe internet advertising, Google. They can give you 3 phone numbers, so they can say 416. I'm just going to call it home, and they say 416 cell, just to differentiate, so that when it gets in, you can see that it and work. And you can say which one of these is primary, right? You can say, hey, the cell phone is the primary one, like the way you set for mailing. They have to give email, so in this day say kk@hotmail.com. They can give their nickname too, like let's say she's called KMF. I don't know if that makes sense. And then they can give their birthday. You just say, hey, I was born on 19th of July. Okay. They also give you an ID. What kind of ID they have. They can say, hey, there's a passport, P number, right? Like whatever the passport number is. They can put an expiry date here. They can say that they're, if they're their marital status. We go through a little bit more detail if for family forms, like if they're in other marital status, they need to give us more information. We also have employer information. You can say I work for JJ Corporation. My job title is supervisor. My profession is maybe software. Then you can give the whole address of the employer. Let's say, actually you've given the address of the employer right here, so you just copy the same thing here too. Right? And you can give the phone number, the fax number also you can give. You can say 416 fax, and the email at work. You can say jj@work.com. Right? And finally, they acknowledge, saying that, hey, this is not a true, you're not basically hired them yet. This is, you're just acknowledging that you're reviewing it, right? So that way you're you don't have an issue. And then I'm going to save it. Now let me try and import it. So you go to import contact, and you see here upload client intake form. You choose that, and I'm going to choose the latest one that I just did, and I'll upload it. Okay, and once I upload it, it'll give me a message with I was successful or I failed. I can just say okay. Now I put the same last name, so I'm going to search for Fonda, and it was Karen Fonda, right? Let me just go here and find her. There she is. And look at the quality of information. Well, we've got everything, like, her address, single, EMF, the home address, the work address, if you remember. And we even said, like, hey, the home address was the one that was basically her mailing address. We got that. And all her work, fax, cell, home, everything that we put, her home email address, her work email address, everything. Like, we kind of have imported her entire stuff now. If you click here, it will even give you the quality of the information that you got from her. It's like 100%, you got everything. Like, what happens is sometimes when you or your assistant intake, you don't get all the information. Like, for example, the quality here of this address is really poor. As you saw here, only 19.61% of the information that you should have got is actually there in this contact. So it actually improvises the quality of your intake process by making things mandatory and putting the onus on them to give you the right information. So we really love this feature, and we want you guys to enjoy it. And I know we're all going through a tough COVID-19 situation in Canada, but making things more contactless in this new modern way is what uLaw is striving for, and hopefully you will like this feature. Again, under document generation, it's right here, contact intake family form, and under the import is where you would actually import the client intake form. Okay, so that's it. So don't forget, it's an editable PDF. You download it, you send it to your client, they fill it for you, and then that way it's extremely secure. It uses email as the mechanism. Like, we don't want to have any surprises here. And when they send it back to you, they've also acknowledged that you've not retained them yet. And you could actually, if you're a little bit worried about it, you could actually mark them as ghost client and take it from there.